Wild Africa. The battle for survival of the strongest warriors. Africa is a land where strength determines survival. Here, only creatures with fighting instincts, extraordinary endurance, and indomitable will can stand firm in the harsh nature. Amidst the wild beauty of the fiery land, where the savanna stretches to the horizon. It is a smoldering war that never stops. There are no rules, no mercy. Life here can end in a split second by a fatal pounce, a brutal gore, or a deadly bite from the still water. And in that great battle, there are creatures that not only survive but also become symbols of strength. From giant gods like the African elephant to apex predators like lions and Nile crocodiles. But there are also silent warriors who do not seek glory, but anyone who underestimates them will pay a heavy price. One of them is the Cape buffalo. No sharp fangs, no wind-splitting speed. But the Cape buffalo, Africa's largest wild buffalo, is one of the most dangerous creatures on the Black Continent. It does not hunt, but it instills fear in the hunters. With a muscular body weighing up to 800 to 1,000 kg, the Cape buffalo is like a walking block of steel. Their most recognizable feature is their pair of curved horns shaped like horseshoes, meeting in the middle of their foreheads to form a natural shield strong enough to resist even the pounce of an adult lion. The Cape buffalo's personality is a mixture of caution and aggression. They often travel in large herds of up to several hundred, forming a living fortress that is always ready to counterattack. When threatened, the herd will turn around and face it instead of running away. But just a few minutes later, the buffaloes fiercely counterattack, regaining their comrades and driving the enemy back. In the natural world, few prey species dare to fight back. But the Cape buffalo not only turns around, but can win. That is why the hunting world calls the Cape buffalo Black Death. Not because it attacks humans, but because it never runs away, and will fight to the last breath. In the midst of the Cape buffalo herd that is quietly grazing, two adult males step out of the ranks, their eyes fixed on each other. This is not a fight for life or death, but it was a fight for power, for the position of herd leader, the power that allows the winner to control the territory and the opportunity to pass on the offspring. And to achieve it, there was only one way: to rush into a battle without mercy. The two buffaloes began to walk in a circle, like two warriors probing. A loud snort. Then, the first gore rang out like thunder. Horns touched horns, The fiery collision made the whole herd stop and look. After more than 10 minutes of fighting, a period that seemed short but could decide the future, one side retreated. The wind blew across the arid plains, where the ground was cracked and the clumps of yellow grass stretched endlessly. In the distance, the low bushes swayed slightly. Not because of the wind, but because the lone giant was advancing. Each heavy step pounded the ground like a resounding drum. It was the southern white rhinoceros, the second largest creature on land after the elephant. With a body exceeding 2 tons, it does not need to hide. It does not need to fear anyone. On its nose is a legendary weapon, a horn more than a meter long, sharp and hard as steel, made of keratin, the same material as human nails, but hundreds of times thicker and compressed. A blow from that horn can penetrate the belly of a predator or flip a pickup truck if necessary. But despite its formidable strength, the rhino is not a fighter. It prefers quiet, wandering alone or in pairs, living according to its own rhythm, as ancient as its evolutionary history of millions of years. However, even the giant must defend its territory. When another male rhino enters its territory, a fight is inevitable. No growls. No calls. Just heavy footsteps, the sound of dust being stirred up as 2 massive bodies collide. The horns point forward, clashing like natural levers. Each charge shakes the battlefield. Blood begins to ooze from the cuts on its flanks. But both continue, like tireless machines. This is not a fight for reproductive rights like the Cape buffalo. This is a fight for honor, for territory. And for the rhino, land is life. Where it eats, where it sleeps, and where it leaves its mark for future generations. Finally, one of them retreats slowly, bleeding, but still with dignity. The other stands tall in the middle of the arid land, breathing heavily through its large snout, silently marking its territory to declare its newly acquired power. Although quiet and solitary, rhinos play an extremely important role in the grassland ecosystem. With their habit of constantly moving, they create natural trails that pave the way for many other species to access water and food. Feeding mainly on short grasses, rhinos help control vegetation, keeping the grasslands from being encroached upon. In particular, their dung is rich in organic matter and seeds that nourish the soil, help regenerate grass and provide food for many insects. A creature with a rough appearance, but is the biological foundation of the entire African grasslands. In the middle of the arid grasslands, a herd of African elephants is moving slowly. In the middle of the herd, carefully protected, are the young ones toddling along under the giant shade of their mothers and their aunts. No predator dares to risk attacking a herd of adult elephants. Not because of their physical strength, although they can weigh up to 6 tons, but because of the special coordination, discipline and intelligence that nature has bestowed upon them. African elephants are animals with extraordinary memories, sophisticated communication skills through low-frequency sounds, and a tightly knit matriarchal society. Along with that is the clever trunk, not only for eating and drinking, but also for picking up young when they fall, or comforting each other after a long, dangerous night. Although slow, elephants can run up to 40 kilometers per hour when necessary. A charge from an adult elephant is enough to knock down a lion, and their presence keeps even crocodiles away from the water when the elephants come to drink. The power of African elephants lies not in their ability to hunt, but in their ability to control their living space, protect their own kind, and have a huge impact on the ecosystem. Elephants do not need to hunt to survive, but can force a pride of lions to retreat if they threaten the herd. With a mass exceeding 6 tons, long sharp tusks, and a body as solid as a wall of iron, they have almost no natural predators except humans. However, what makes them special is the combination of intelligence, high defense instincts, and close-knit social structure. When an individual is threatened, the entire herd will act together to form a defensive circle, ready to confront. No predator wants to enter that circle, where each gore, each stomp, can end their life in an instant. In addition, elephants are also habitat builders. Using their tusks to dig underground water sources, clearing thickets to make way for other species, or spreading seeds through their dung. If elephants were to disappear, many savanna areas would completely change their ecological structure. For all these reasons, its size, intelligence, defense, social organization and ecological impact, the African elephant deserves to be one of the most powerful and far-reaching creatures in the African wild. The water surface is calm under the red afternoon light. The ripples seem peaceful. But beneath that layer of water lies one of Africa's most ferocious and unpredictable creatures. A hippo emerges, revealing only its eyes, ears and nostrils. But don't let its lazy appearance fool you. Hippos are not easygoing creatures, but mobile fortresses in the wild. Weighing up to 1,500 kilos, with jaws that can open up to 150 degrees and fangs nearly half a meter long, they possess one of the strongest bites in the world, enough to break a wooden boat or bite a crocodile in half. Hippos do not hunt, but they occupy the water as their inviolable territory. Anyone, whether a lion, antelope or even a Nile crocodile, who gets too close will be immediately threatened. Crocodiles, although experienced carnivores, are often pushed out of the water by hippos, or bitten to death when they invade the resting area of females. The hippo's instinct to protect its young is one of its strongest. The herd is usually dominated by a dominant male with many females and young that will immediately form a barrier if there is a sign of danger. The mother hippo is ready to rush to the shore, goring even the lion if the young are threatened. Although living in water, hippos cannot swim like fish. They move by walking on the bottom of the river and can hold their breath for up to 5 minutes at a time. At night, they come ashore to find food and can travel kilometers to find grass. But this is also the time when they are most likely to conflict with humans, and that is why hippos are considered the most deadly species in Africa in natural conflicts. As the sun sets over the fiery horizon, darkness falls over the savannah. This is not the end of the day, but the golden hour of the predators. From the bushes, bright eyes shine. A supple, graceful body moves towards the herd of antelope. It is the silent warrior lioness, the heart of every hunt. Contrary to the image of solitary animals, lions live in prides, and this is what makes them Africa's most dangerous predators. They coordinate closely, using siege tactics, dividing and distracting prey like a well-trained army. A lion's bite force is up to 650 psi, enough to penetrate the thick hide of a Cape buffalo or antelope. They can sprint up to 80 kilometers per hour with razor-sharp claws and a pounce that can bring down prey in an instant. But lions do more than hunt. They protect power. The male with his thick mane is a symbol of royalty. When two males face off, the whole land shakes with their roars. The battle not only determines who controls the herd, but also who has the right to continue the bloodline. Despite their strength, lions still face risks. Every attack on a buffalo, elephant or hippo is a gamble of life and death. But their intelligence, organization and relentless courage are what make lions worthy of the title of king of the grasslands. On a hot afternoon, a herd of antelopes approached the riverbank after a long, exhausted journey. They hesitated, their eyes darting around the reeds, their ears pricked up. The water was as calm as a mirror, without a ripple, without a sound. But just below the murky mud, death lurked, motionless as a rotten log. It was the Nile crocodile, a creature that had remained virtually unchanged over millions of years of evolution. With a body longer than 6 meters, weighing nearly a ton, it was the perfect embodiment of death in the water. Its main weapon is its giant teeth with a bite force of over 5,000 psi, the strongest in the animal kingdom. But what makes it most terrifying is not its strength, but its cold, cruel patience. An antelope bows its head to drink water. And then, bang, the water surface explodes. The crocodile shoots up like an arrow, snaps its neck in an instant, and drags it down to the riverbed. The antelope struggles desperately. That's when the death roll begins. The crocodile spins with terrifying force, breaking the neck and crushing the joints of its prey in just a few turns. When the whirlpool subsides, the river returns to its original calm, as if death had never happened. Unlike lions that need a pack or hippos that need sudden power, crocodiles hunt with stealth, patience, and the ability to strike with lethal force. They can fast for weeks, only to attack at a single moment and then disappear like a ghost. In the African wild, crocodiles do not hunt out of instinct, but because they are born to kill. When night falls, the edge of the forest seems to hold its breath. There is no sound, no wind, but a pair of bright yellow eyes are watching, moving as if gliding through the night. It is the leopard, the solitary hunter, silent but deadly. Without a herd, leopards live and hunt alone, a hermit warrior in the harsh nature. With a slim but flexible body, they possess a speed of up to 60 kilometers per hour, a precise pounce and a master climbing ability. Just a glance, a low bend, and the prey is in its hands. But what makes leopards stand out is not only the ability to hunt mammals such as antelopes, monkeys or wild boars, but also their extraordinary adaptations. They not only kill, but also protect their prey. After each hunt, leopards often carry heavy prey up trees, away from predators such as hyenas or lions. With strong neck muscles and strong teeth, they can drag an antelope carcass twice their body weight up to high branches, quietly enjoying the untouched reward. Not big, not needing a herd, but the leopard is still one of the most powerful animals on the Black Continent. Because true strength sometimes lies in solitude, flexibility and absolute survival in all conditions. The leopard does not need to roar to show its powers, it just needs to be silent and kill, as fast as a shadow gliding through the night. In the scorching sun of the grasslands, a pack of hyenas quietly follows the trail of a prey that has just separated from the pack. Without roaring, without hasty pursuit, they wait, surround and coordinate each attack step like a well-trained army. Although looked down upon as a scavenger, the spotted hyena is actually a skilled hunter, possessing a jaw that can bite up to 1,100 psi, capable of crushing bones. They coordinate rhythmically, patiently chasing their prey until they are exhausted, then rush in to finish them off in just a few seconds. Under the blazing sun, the true strength of hyenas lies not in their appearance, but in their cohesion, strategy and will to never let go of their prey. In the wild, they do not need majesty, only ruthless efficiency to survive. Not far away, a clan of wild dogs is quietly moving across the grasslands. Ears are high, eyes are sharp. Each step has a purpose. Without noise, without haste. They hunt as if they have practiced hundreds of times. African wild dogs are the most effective hunters on the continent, with a success rate of up to 80 to 90%. They do not need superior strength, but win thanks to speed, group coordination, and absolute discipline. Each individual has a clear role in the chase, blocking, distracting, and taking down. Even though the prey is many times larger, the pack of dogs does not falter. They pursue it to the end, constantly changing positions, not giving the victim a chance to rest. On the sun-scorched savanna, where the strong are not only the big ones, African wild dogs prove that collective strength, loyalty and perseverance are the ultimate weapons for survival. In the sparse forests, grassy savannas and rocky riverbanks of the Black Continent, a legless, silent killer lurks under the dry leaves. It is the African rock python, a creature that rarely appears. But each time it strikes, a life ends in silence. No venom, no need for speed. When its prey comes within a single coil, death has spoken. In a world where those who roar are often considered the strongest. The rock python is a reminder that strength sometimes comes from silence, from a slow but inescapable squeeze, from an attack that requires no warning but never fails. In the unforgiving world of African savannas, jungles, and rivers, strength is not measured by muscle or claws, but by the ability to adapt, fight, and survive every moment of life and death. Every species, from predators like lions, crocodiles, leopards, to defenders like elephants, hippos, and buffalo, possesses a unique form of strength. Some species fight with intelligence, some survive with herds, some end up with deadly silence. But all have one instinct in common: never surrender. Africa, the land of fire, blood and life, continues to write the story of creatures that possess the purest power of nature, strong enough to survive, to protect, to not be swept away in the harsh vortex of unforgiving evolution. Which survival battle impressed you the most? Share your thoughts below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel to discover more miraculous survival stories in the wild. Under the rain-soaked red soil and sunlight filtering through the dense forest canopy, the Pantanal glows like a majestic symphony of life. This is the continent of flowing rivers, endless forests, where every ray of light deeply engraves the heartbeat of all species. Between the vast waters and the deep green forests, all species silently plunge into the endless battle for survival. The cycles of life continue, intertwined between the harshness and the magic of the Pantanal. Pantanal, reborn in the midst of endless water. Dawn rises, the sunlight is gentle, the Pantanal spreads out like a giant green carpet. The swamp is immense, the river meanders through the reeds, and the air smells of damp soil, the scent of blooming wild grass. Birds fly in flocks, calling each other in the clear sky, the sound of insects buzzing like an endless soundtrack. In that peaceful moment, under the muddy water, the guinea pigs quietly immerse themselves, leisurely nibbling on the green grass on the shore. Water guinea pigs, also known as capybara, can grow up to 1 meter long and weigh up to 65 kilos. They are the world's largest rodents, known as the gentle giants of the flooded areas. Capybara are considered to represent the art of living in a community. Each group usually has from 10 to 20 individuals, led and protected by a male leader. Capybara are masters of the art of living in an aquatic environment. Their thin, water-absorbent fur acts as a natural insulation, helping to balance their body temperature on hot days. Their eyes, ears and nose are located high on their heads, allowing them to be almost completely submerged in water while still observing and breathing safely, away from the lurking eyes of predators such as caiman crocodiles or jaguars. Capybaras live in large herds, from a few individuals to dozens, united as a solid block. The herd eats together, sunbathes together, shares vigilance together, forming a natural defense network. When threatened, they dive into the water in the blink of an eye, swim gently, and can hold their breath underwater for up to 5 minutes, hiding in a peaceful world where sometimes only ripples reveal their presence. It is not too much to say that capybaras are the foreign minister of the wild world. It is rare to see crocodiles being able to make peace with other animals, but capybaras are an exception. They lie next to crocodiles sunbathing, other creatures calmly passing by. The appearance of capybaras has blurred the boundary between two species of animals with two opposite ways of survival. With their plump bodies and thick, water-soaked fur, they seem to melt into the marshland landscape, both hiding from predators and keeping themselves cool. Capybaras have their own set of communication signals, such as whistles, growls, and small cries. And when the rainy season comes, life explodes with new births, with small litters following their mothers across the marshes, marking a new generation growing up amid the endless breath of the Pantanal. On the quiet rivers flowing through the Pantanal, when the first sunlight shines down, cheerful chirping sounds begin to ring out. That is a sign of the presence of giant otters, the fun giants of this wetland. With a body length that can exceed 1.8 meters and a weight of up to 30 to 35 colon, the giant otter, Pteronura brasiliensis, is the largest otter species in the world. They have thick, smooth, waterproof, dark brown fur, bright, sharp eyes, and sharp claws. One of the most recognizable features is the uniquely shaped white spots under the neck. This is considered a unique mark that each individual carries, like human fingerprints. Under the murky water, the surface of the Pantanal lagoon suddenly became turbulent. The giant otter tore through the water, its eyes locked on its target. 3 otters surrounded a crocodile that had emerged from the shore. All 3 otters did not hesitate to surround and pull the crocodile into the water. The sound of the water bursting, the young crocodile struggled, trying to escape. But it was too late. The entire pack of otters had joined in. They rushed in from all directions, coordinating like silent warriors. Sharp teeth dug into weak points. The collective strength crushed all resistance. The hunt was so fast and effective because the giant otter had an extremely clever organization of solidarity and coordination. They live in close-knit families of 5 to 10 individuals, with parents and offspring of varying ages. In the wetland world of the Pantanal, otters act as a cooperative hunting group, sharing tasks such as patrolling their territory, foraging for food, and protecting their young. The Pantanal's rainy season is the breeding season for giant otters, with the young following in the footsteps of their adults in a miraculous survival machine. When talking about the Pantanal, we are talking about strange and giant creatures, and the anaconda is one of the most obvious examples. The anaconda is the queen of pythons, one of the most extraordinary creatures of the Pantanal rainforest. With a body length of more than 6 meters and terrible strength hidden under its sparkling scales, they are the living embodiment of silent power in the vast swamp. Coming to the Pantanal, you will no longer be unfamiliar with the image of a giant python lying on a tree trunk across the river. They wait, patiently and silently, until the opportunity is ripe. And then suddenly rush forward, squeeze and swallow the prey in a cold and absolutely precise hunt. Anaconda is not a species that hunts prey with speed. They choose ambush as the art of their hunting trips. Hiding motionless for hours, they wait for the perfect moment to strike. When prey appears, be it fish, birds, otters, even caiman crocodiles or swamp deer carelessly approaching, the anaconda launches with terrible force, wrapping its body tightly around the target. Without using venom, the anaconda squeezes its prey with enormous muscular force, stopping blood circulation until the opponent's life is completely extinguished. And the anaconda has discovered its prey. The anaconda crawls slowly, eyes locked on the crocodile dozing by the water's edge. Not a sound. Just a few more steps. Suddenly the python lunges forward like a living whip, attacking relentlessly. But the crocodile roars, its hoarse roar resounding, sharp as steel, stopped. The anaconda seems to know when to stop, immediately turns around, glides quickly into the murky water, disappears in the blink of an eye, leaving the surface of the lagoon shaking with ripples of the unsuccessful confrontation. In addition to hunting, the anaconda is also famous for its extraordinary survival ability. They can fast for weeks, even months after a large meal. The anaconda's breeding season begins during the rainy season, when the water levels rise and food becomes abundant. During this season, strange breeding balls appear, with a large female surrounded by many smaller males competing for mating rights. After a gestation period of about 6 to 7 months, the female gives birth to an average of 20 to 40 young, fully developed and ready to fend for themselves from birth. In the vast, flooded swamp, the anaconda silently slithers like a dark river flowing beneath the placid surface, reminding us that in the natural world, the greatest creatures often do not need to roar, but only silence and sheer power. The Pantanal is a paradise for birds with an extraordinary biodiversity. Here, more than 1,000 species of birds sing in the endless sky, from familiar flocks of storks and herons to rare magical creatures such as the hyacinth macaw and the Chilean flamingo. Amid the waters bathed in the sunset, the Chilean flamingo appears like a graceful streak of pink fire. With soft feathers tinged with pale pink, long grey legs and characteristic thick curved beaks, they are silent dancers of the vast marshland. Chilean flamingos often gather in large flocks, leisurely striding in the shallow water, using their beaks to filter the mud in search of algae, crustaceans and plankton that are their main source of food. This graceful way of foraging is both an art of survival and a natural dance between heaven and earth. As the sunset reddens the vast grasslands of the Pantanal, a tall, thin figure begins to appear, quietly gliding through the yellow of the wilderness. It is the Pantanal maned wolf, a strange creature with a half-wild, half-legendary appearance. With long, slender legs like antelopes, thick rust-red fur, and a black mane that stands up when in danger, the maned wolf is a unique symbol of the grasslands and open forests of the Pantanal. Unlike wolves that hunt in packs, the maned wolf is a solitary traveler, drawing silent journeys under the vast sky. The maned wolf's living habits are closely linked to the rhythm of the earth and sky. They are mainly active at dusk and dawn, the ambiguous moments between day and night. On soft dirt roads, the maned wolf gently moves forward, its ears perked up, listening to the slightest sound coming from the grasslands. The maned wolf's living habits are closely linked to the rhythm of the earth and sky. They are mainly active at dusk and dawn, the ambiguous moments between day and night. On soft dirt roads, the maned wolf gently moves forward, its ears perked up, listening to the slightest sound coming from the grasslands. It is neither a wolf nor a fox. It is the only member of the genus Crocodiles. It is the largest canid in the Pantanal, standing about 90 centimeters tall and weighing 23 kilograms. The maned wolf is crepuscular, meaning it is active at dusk and is omnivorous, including a variety of plants, small animals and insects. Instead of howling, the maned wolf barks or roars to communicate with its mates and warn others to stay away. It also marks its territory with urine. They live in monogamous pairs rather than in packs, with each pair claiming a territory of about 26 square kilometers. In the middle of the dewy grasslands, the Pantanal maned wolf has already spotted its prey. It is in no hurry. Its golden brown eyes dart around warily before lowering its head, beginning its silent meal. It leaps up to knock its prey down. With neat bites, it tears the thin skin, revealing the soft flesh underneath. The maned wolf eats slowly, piece by piece, as if fully enjoying the spoils it has just won. Every now and then, it raises its head, its ears perked up, listening for faint sounds in the distance, the shrill cries of birds, the sound of wind rustling through the grass. Only when it is certain that there is no danger lurking will the maned wolf continue to eat, cautiously and patiently. The short feast ended. It licked its muzzle clean, shook the mane on its neck, then walked away into the light mist, leaving behind only a few bloody blades of grass and footprints fading in the morning light. The maned wolf's diet is small and medium-sized prey, including birds, fish, rodents, and hares. In particular, although it is a carnivore, the maned wolf loves to eat fruits and vegetables. This dog breed lives mainly in the vast tropical grasslands. Currently, there are about 17,000 adults, mostly in Brazil. The maned wolf is listed as endangered by the International Union for Conservation of Nature, IUCN. In recent years, their numbers have declined dramatically due to habitat destruction, hunting by humans, and diseases from contact with livestock. Every movement, whether it is the flapping of a parrot's wings, the silent footsteps of a tapir, or the lightning pounce of a jaguar, is part of a great vortex where all existence is maintained in a delicate balance. The connections here are not simply about hunting and survival. They are also about the silent cooperation between animals and the earth, between plants and water. They are about tolerance, adaptation, and sometimes concessions between species, so that all can share the same vast pantanal home. And we are not outside of that harmony. Every step we take leaves its mark on the ground. The survival of thousands of creatures here depends not only on their instincts, but also on our kindness, understanding, and responsibility. When we protect nature, we are not only saving the creatures of the Pantanal, but also preserving a deep part of our own souls. For in every heartbeat of the Pantanal, there is a silent beat of our own, who carry within them the ancient wild blood linked to the life of this planet.